What's a TV series that everyone should give a go? Chernobyl. Very interesting. Watch all the episodes then watch episode 1 a second time. Pushing Daisies. I swear no one has ever seen this show. It has everything. It's dark, it's funny, it's absolutely beautiful aesthetically. It has one of the best romance plots in any show I've ever seen. The show follows the pie maker, who can bring people back from the dead by touch, but only for 60 seconds before another life is randomly taken. This meets with hijinks when he teams up with a private investigator in a dark whimsical world. I stick by the reason it was cancelled is because it made every other show on the station look like chiz by comparison. Also, if you want to get your depression on, Carnival. Another stunningly beautiful show that shares the healer at a cost theme. This show is not funny or happy though. I love Pushing Daisies. I think it was cancelled because of the writer's strike and overall it was just an expensive show to produce. They had to build all of those sets because no location felt like it fit in the world. God, there was so much that was set up and never concluded though. Makes me so sad. Edit. For those interested, you can stream it, I believe for free, on CW Seed. If you like mostly realistic space sci-fi and political machinations, The Expanse. No warp drives, no phaser beam weapons, no artificial gravity, actual orbital mechanics. They build spaceships like skyscrapers, not ocean-going ships, because when you think about it, it just makes sense. Space is dangerous and unforgiving, resources are low, and people are still people. No utopia cumbaya. It starts kind of slow, for some people, really slow, but it spends those first episodes doing some really interesting world building that pays off in spades later on in the series. I really love the show, but I have to mention the books. While yes, I'm aware the question was for a series, the books are really great and do give some insights into the series. What We Do in the Shadows. I had heard about this many times, but hesitated to watch it because I'm really not into vampire shows / movies / books or really anything supernatural. I just think it's dumb. But I watched one episode of this and was hooked. For anyone who doesn't know, it's about a group of vampires who live together in a house in Staten Island, present day. It's a mockumentary, so think The Office and Parks and Rec. Please nobody spoil it for me, I'm only on ep 7 of season 1. Edit. As many have pointed out, the show is based on a movie that is supposed to be brilliant. I have not seen it yet, but I'm going to try to watch it tonight. Thanks for the recommendations. This is about vampires. I thought it was about regular human bartenders that just love women's volleyball. True Detective S1. Each season is a self-contained mini-series. One of the best things I've ever watched. I go back and watch it a couple times a year because goddamn. Dark. For those who love mysteries and brain ducks, make sure you have a large sheet of paper and several color pencils handy. Mr. Robot, but you need to just commit to watching to the end. The first 3 seasons are incredibly well done, but build up so much confusion. That confusion is important because season 4 just lets loose with absolute satisfaction with every episode. One season 4 episode counts as one of the best hours of TV I have ever watched, so, yeah. Mr. Robot. I feel Mr. Robot is one of the greatest television shows in history. The cinematography alone makes it worth it. They also went to great lengths to represent hacking realistically. Fargo on FX also. I know cartoons aren't for everyone, but BoJack Horseman is more insightful than a lot of serious dramas I've seen. Fargo season 1. Billy Bob Thornton. Mindhunter. It was refreshing to see a Netflix series like that. Please watch it. Just finished episode 1. Seems like it's going to be a slow burn, but a satisfying one. Derry Girls. It's about a group of Catholic schoolgirls and boy and is based in Northern Ireland during the Troubles. Silly, hilarious and on Netflix. /edit. Wrong Ireland. Look, I wanted to be an individual, but my ma won't let me. Well, I'm not being individual on my own. Rips off denim jacket. Blackadder. Amazing show. Young Laurie Brown Atkinson in his prime. Brilliant. Avatar, The Last Airbender. Just watched Tales of Basing SE and boy does that one know how to punch you in the feels. The Wire. I'm French. I never went to the US. But for some reason this series hooked me like no other series. I watched it many times, the whole series, maybe 10 or 12 times. This is that fantastic. If you haven't watched this series, force yourself. Entry is not easy at first, but this is so worth it. Incredible drama. Berry. Amazing writing and acting. Hilariously dark story about a hitman turned theater actor in LA. I'm anxiously awaiting season 3 and hope Bill Hader made big bucks for it too, since that burned him out and put Barry S3 on hold. It was cause he did it chapter 2 right after Barry, but I agree, and Noho Hank is like super nice guy. Futurama. This series was pretty solid throughout its run and had a very beautiful ending. I've never seen a more satisfying series finale. Avatar: The Last Airbender. I just started season 3 and oh man. Parks and Recreation. First season is meh, but it just gets better and better. Parks and Recreation is like a calzone. You get through the crust of the first season and a bit of the second until you reach that gooey pizzerific center. Then you hit the last season, which is the crust with lots of flavor, and it is delicious as well with great closure. Gravity Falls. But her aim is getting better. 6 Feet Under. The writing and the acting in this series is so good that it feels like you're watching an actual family. There's great character development. Every character has flaws and positive things about them that make you hate and love them. This show deals with loss and grief in such a powerful way. This show also has the best season finales of any show. I still think this is the best character development show I have ever seen. Sobbed during the finale. So well done. Community. I remember reading a comment that said something like Community isn't like any show you've watched, but all other shows that you've seen help you to enjoy it, and that's the most accurate description I've seen. The Good Place. In the words of one of my actual friends, yeah, basic. It's a human insult. It's devastating. You're devastated right now. Broadchurch. I watched the show, was absolutely thrilled, sat in my car and drove 1,000 kilometers from Germany to Dorset, and sat down at the cliff and ate fish and chips. 10/10ths would do it again. The Twilight Zone. I mean the original series, because it is such a great work of television, and 60 years later so many of the episodes still hold up. I was actually up till 4 AM watching it today. Breaking Bad. It took me ages to finally convince my boyfriend at the time, to watch it. I had already seen the series twice through, so it was my third rewatch. He liked it so much that we decided to do the Breaking Bad RV tour in Albuquerque on our honeymoon. The It Crowd Edit. I came here to drink milk and kicker, and I've just finished my milk. W00T W00T. Thank you for the awards. Falatha. Schitt's Creek. It's simultaneously heartwarming and clever, which is a combination you don't see often. Ooh, David. Psych. The second movie comes out next month, and I feel like it's going to be significantly better than the first movie / it'll feel like Clay Psych. Amundson's unfortunate stroke caused a drastic rewrite of movie 1, and I feel like movie 2 will be fantastic. Peep Show all day every day. It was a joke. A Christmas joke. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia has been one of the best shows on TV for 14 years now, because of its magnum dung. Father Ted. I thought you said FR. Jack had trials for Liverpool? No doggle, I said he was on trial in Liverpool. Firefly. This show just nailed the genre of space western, even down to the dialects. It's 500 years in the future, and they still talk like they're ranchers from small town, USA. Black Mirror. Each episode is self-contained, so you don't have to commit to the long haul to get the entire story. It's like Twilight Zone. Skip the first episode if you're squeamish, but please no spoilers, because it's best watched knowing as little about it as possible. The most recent season unfortunately is very weak emo. Love the show, but I can't help but feel the quality dipped a bit. Brooklyn Nine-Nine and Community. Cool. Cool. BoJack Horseman. If you told me, before Bojack was released, that an animated cartoon, where well-honored voices an anthropomorphic talking horse would be one of the single most moving and life-affirming pieces of art I would ever see, I would have laughing in your face. Hell, my reaction probably would have been skepticism 2 or even 3 seasons into it. That's obviously not the case now. The way they used colorful, unique animation and visual puns to bring the show to some really dark places without it seeming like it was figuratively getting off at its own sadness, which in turn made for some incredibly moving television. The creators made a show within the show and had Bojack star in it as a meta-criticism of a subsect of the fanbase that doesn't realize that relating to the sad horse doesn't mean you're cool or deep, it means you need professional help. The way they portrayed addiction, depression, and anxiety was absolutely spot on in a lot of ways as well. It's not always the extremes we tend to think of mental illnesses in. It can be as simple as being unable to stop your mouth from burning every single bridge you have until approximately 2 paragraphs of speech too late, or being anxious in a social setting and intentionally drinking to calm the nerves, or being afraid to let people near you in case they leave you with an even bigger hole inside. Even just the looks of hurt and disappointment in characters' faces and somber acceptance in their voices as they are hurt by Bojack's addiction are so ducking spot on. It's gut-wrenching. You know what the show does best though? It makes you want to do better, and it tells you that it'll be the hardest thing you'll ever do. Never does it pull any punches there, and it also somehow gives you the hope to get better. Because it does get a little easier every day. You just gotta keep doing it, and that's the hard part. The Sopranos. Recently finished it, and my life got a whole lot better. Also, the finale is delicious. Its themes are timeless and feel applicable to our current political and economic climate. A real testament to its quality, in that the Mayfair aspect is really a backdrop to explore those themes. Also, James Gandolfini's acting is underrated in the sense that television acting isn't very well respected in general, but he encompassed Tony Soprano in a way that few actors have ever grasped a character before. Buffy the Vampire Slayer was coming here to say this. Buffy and Angel are 2 of my all-time favorite shows. Fringe. That show blew my mind. One of my all-time favorites. Arrested Development, especially the first 3 seasons. Literally the hardest I've ever laughed at a show, ever. There's always money in the banana stand. Scrubs, all 8 seasons of it. Hannibal. Yes, it got cancelled, but it's one of my favorite shows in years. Everything about it is incredible. I've never been more in love with the art of every shot of a show. Brian Fuller, Mads Mikkelsen, who didn't see at their finest. How the support cast developed as well. Just so much fascination and love for this show. Ozark. Sweet Christ. Season 3, Episode 9 is some of the darkest TV I've ever watched. The actor that plays Ben is incredible. An amazing series. Deadwood. The plot is excellent. The characters are compelling. And the dialogue is downright Shakespearean. Edit, cocksucker. My bicycle masters boardwalk and quagmire with aplomb. Those that doubt me, suck cock by choice. Cocksuckers. IMO Star Trek, The Next Generation and Star Trek, Deep Space Nine are together essential viewing for everyone. The 2 shows complement each other beautifully, with TNG showing us the wonder and awe that the future brings with new technology, while DS9 balances it out with a mirror to our darker side and warns what would happen if we are not careful. TNG is about exploring strange new worlds and seeking out new civilizations, while DS9 fully develops them into proper unique societies. Captain Picard is a great diplomat and explorer, while Captain Sisko is a down-to-earth family man who's not afraid to get his hands dirty. Other than that, definitely watch Avatar: The Last Airbender, but I'd say you're going to get a lot of suggestions for that, so I wanted to offer something different. I had never watched 1 episode of Star Trek. Then I started TNG at the start of Stay at Home and plowed through it in about 4 weeks. Damn, I fall in love easily. Peaky Ducking Blinders. Awesome show. I love how it develops over the seasons and you see Tommy changing as he becomes more powerful. Party Down. Are we having fun yet? The Americans. It's not very known, but it was a really good show. Definitely deserves more recognition. Really slow burn, but really good. I think the important thing going in is to not expect some sort of Jason Bourne action spy drama. It's basically an intense family drama and character study set against the pressure cooker of 1980s Cold War politics. More like Mad Men than James Bond. Bob's Burgers. It's funny, heartwarming, and also has one of the healthiest portrayals of family I've seen. The dynamic between Bob and Linda and their kids is one of my favorite parts about it. With everything going on, this show is one of the few things helping me stay sane. Yup, I always tell people I really appreciate the supportive family aspect of the show. It's very different from The Simpsons and Family Guy, where they're all chisty to each other. Not to mention Bob's Burgers makes me laugh out loud frequently. I find the show to be comforting as well and often have it on. Battlestar Galactica. Stargate SG-1. Upvote cause in watching that right now. Also, Indeed. Burn Notice. It has Bruce Campbell in a major supporting role. Also, Ash vs Evil Dead. It stars Bruce Campbell. End communication. My name is Michael Weston. I used to be a spy. Until. It was one of my favorite shows while growing up. Atlanta. Every episode is so different. Few shows take that risk. I laughed, I cried, I was scared. Amazing. Feels so real. Clone Wars. Just finished watching all 7 series. Bloody amazing. Orphan Black. Orphan Black is so ducking good. The last season is a bit weaker, but people gotta watch this show. If only for Tatiana Maslany's insane performance. Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency. The pilot is one of the best TV episodes I've ever seen. It's so chaotic and nonsensical, sparing no time at all between different completely random and seemingly unrelated things and characters, not explaining a damn thing, giving you no chance to breathe, and it leaves you feeling confused beyond all reason, but at the same time, curious to see how it all comes together. The way they tie it all together in the finale is absolutely genius, and makes all of that confusion at beginning worth it. Absolutely fantastic show. I'm hoping the animated continuation they're working on lives up to the creativity of the first 2 seasons. Silicon Valley is hilarious. It was, but it was a bit thief made it. Oh no, they haven't. Rinse and repeat. One I haven't seen yet. Justified. It's about a US Marshal being reagent to Kentucky, where he grew up, and dealing with his family/friends who are a bit on the shady side. It's kind of a western, it has that vibe a little. But there are tons of good parts and great guest stars. Then, after watching Timothy Olyphant be a badder for several seasons, watch him in Santa Clarita Diet on Netflix, where he plays a kind of wimpy suburban dad/husband. It's hilarious. Edit. Thought of another show. Mr. In Between. It's an Australian show about a hitman/criminal and his life. It's more of a dramedy, but it's on FX, and I really like it. The guy that plays Dewey Crowell on Justified is in it, which is why I thought of it. Olyphant and Walton Goggins really make this show. I will watch the latter in just about anything. 30 Rock. BBC Sherlock and Fleabag. Fleabag is hilarious. Person of Interest. Person of Interest created by Jonathan Nolan, brother of Christopher, who also created Westworld and wrote Interstellar, Memento, and several other movies with his brother. I loved it. The attention to detail was impressive, and the finale sticks the landing. Sherlock. Although there are some weak episodes, the show is brilliant and very entertaining on many occasions. The show was great up until around when Moriarty died. He was an excellent villain, and I actually felt like he had bested Sherlock when season 2 ended. He was insane enough to the point of committing suicide to ruin Sherlock, which I thought was brilliant writing, and said so much more about his character. S3's villain was really lame, though. There wasn't any kind of climactic confrontation. Sherlock just shoots him and gets away with it. And then his sister is even more of a ridiculous villain. Like, come on. Genius to the point of mind control. And the fact that Sherlock forgot about his own ducking sister and his dead friend in what should have been a traumatic and engraved memory is just really ducking dumb. Exclamation mark. Coupling, a BBC show from 2000. It's a fantastic comedy with endlessly quotable lines and takes on new relationships. I've got the key to the gates of paradise, but I've got too many legs. I quite like Travelers. Yes. Such a bummer it wasn't renewed for more seasons, but well. Arrested Development. There are 3 seasons, just FYI. But there really weren't. There's always money in the banana stand. The In-Betweeners. Duck off, you bunda. House MD. 24. The first 5 seasons of Supernatural Stranger Things edit. Also Broadchurch. House MD is amazing. The Leftovers and Watchmen, both of these shows have stuck with me from the day they finished airing. The Leftovers has one of the most beautiful series finales I have ever seen. Watchmen is timely with its messages, while also being incredibly entertaining. Yes, I just finished The Leftovers, having been recommended it after finishing watching Mr. Robot. The Leftovers was fantastic. Season 2 has perhaps one of the best episodes of television I've seen. The end of the F// world. Tacking my input on here because it's related. I'm not okay with this. Maybe not everyone's cup of tea, but it's produced by the same person and has a similar vibe. It's definitely a bit more out there, but it's a crazy ride and it's been confirmed for Arrest 2, which I'm very excited for. It also looks like it's in for a longer run than End of the F// world. Killing Eve. Legion. Yes, this show is tripping F, so you have to pay attention. Even when paying attention you're still confused. Community. One of the best written comedy shows I've ever seen. They hide so many jokes, many of which take multiple viewings to catch. Has my favorite cast ever as well. Everyone should give this show a chance. Twin Peaks. Great story, intriguing characters, and a fantastic atmosphere. Search too deep for this one. Season 3 is a Lynch masterpiece. Letterkenny. The fact I had to scroll this far to find Letterkenny is ducking and burrowing. Dexter, at least up to season 5, it is some of the most well-crafted television out there. Black Sails. An adult prequel to Treasure Island which features some of the best writing and character acting ever. The show did not receive enough attention while it was in production, but that thankfully won't prevent new viewers from finding it and realizing they almost missed something amazing. Give it a shot. Watch at least the first 2 seasons. Edit. Holy cheese. My first gold, and bless in the matter of minutes. Thank you for being fans of the show like I am. I wanted to comment this myself, because I didn't expect to see it on here. The first season can put a lot of people off, but seasons 2 to 4 are some of the best television I have ever seen. Afterlife on Netflix. It's a gem. Avatar: The Last Airbender. Even if you've seen the movie, but not the TV show, the movie is absolute bullshit compared to the show, which came first. If you're putting it off because it's an anime and you don't like that stuff, gonna be honest, I don't like anime either. But this is more like an all-ages cartoon, and it's close to the anime style, but isn't quite there. It's a bit of a western adaptation of the style. The lore, characters, story, and literally everything is fleshed out really well. 2 of the most dynamic characters are ones who are initially antagonists, Prince Zuko and his uncle Iroh, and also one who is always an antagonist, Zuko's younger sister Azula, are arguably some of the most impressive and fleshed out characters I've ever seen. And there's really no reason not to at least try it if you have a Netflix subscription, since it's available on there. What movie? Doctor Who. The fans, like me, are real nerdy, but the show is great and there are so many things you can learn from it. But when they made this particular hero, they didn't give him a gun, they gave him a screwdriver to fix things. They didn't give him a tank or a warship or an X-Wing fighter, they gave him a box from which you can call for help. And they didn't give him a superpower or pointy ears or a heat ray, they gave him an extra heart. They gave him 2 hearts. And that's an extraordinary thing. There will never come a time when we don't need a hero like the Dr. Stephen Moffat. The Good Place. We need more viewers. I love The Good Place, but it doesn't really need for viewers since it's done. The West Wing. Came here to say this. Quite possibly the best show ever. It gives me hope. Person of interest. The first season is kind of basic, but still needed for the story. Avatar, The Last Airbender and Korra is optional. The Dragon Prince, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Breaking Bad, Stranger Things, Gravity Falls, South Park. Had to search the thread for person of interest. I knew it would be here. Very underappreciated. And like Op said, season 1 is slower, but it builds, and is so worth it. Fantastic writing, performances and music. PS. Korra is worth your time. I wouldn't consider it optional personally. Oh my, you watched until the end? That's fucking awesome, dude. Thanks for watching.